Hello everyone, and now welcome to game 1 in a series between Infi versus Th000 here on Last Refuge. Alright, we're going to go ahead and turn off Fog of War so you guys can see what's happening here as we see Infi spawning as the human player down over here on the bottom left. Meanwhile, Th000 is spawning as the purple night elf on the top right. I'm not quite sure why both of these players decided to change their name. And also, why there are no observers, it is going to make observing this game a little bit more difficult than normal, just because, well, there's no Fog of War. Also, you can most likely hear all of the rally points down over here. You are listening to everything that Infi would be, Infi would be able to hear at this point. Just remember, Infi is human, Th000 is night elf. I know both of these players do often play human, so that does add for a little bit of confusion here, as we are now looking at this militia making its way off to the top north. It looks like it's going to position itself here to try and perhaps clear out an Ancient of War. However, the Ancient of War is actually in this position next to the Goblin Merchant Shop. This is a very, very smart position just because most of the time the militia will not run into that location. By scouting out this location and seeing nothing, he actually has a little bit more walking around to do, as we are going to be going into a Tavern Hero. Tavern Hero, very, very strong. We can see Dark Ranger, Beastmaster, Fire Lord, or perhaps even a Dark Ranger as... Dark Ranger or Panda, excuse me, as one of the possible hero choices, just because we are going up against a human player. Panda is very, very vulnerable, or footmen are very, very vulnerable to early Panda. As you can see that the archer is already getting in some easy shots onto that poor peasant. That peasant going to be taking a bit of damage now, and it looks as though that peasant should be able to survive, but it is still taking a fair bit of damage here. I believe it's 25% damage reduction. As you can see that peasant is already trying to, or may try to get away here in just a moment. No, the archer should actually be going after the peasant and not the other unit there. Are we going to perhaps pick up another, the hero yet? No, no hero at all, as the archers are now just shooting at that farm. Meanwhile, archmages down over here already militia creeping. So this will give a little bit of a lead advantage to the human player, as we can see a Goblin Tinker as the primary first hero coming in from Infi. Or, excuse me, coming from Th000. This is not your typical opening hero whatsoever. I am rather confused by this, as you can see that the archers are just attempting to shoot down this farm. The farm does take reduced damage from piercing, so this is a rather strange call. Meanwhile, you can see that the Tinker is just wandering around over here. We are not upgrading to tier 2 at all, so it's not going to be a very fast second hero, as the Tinker now just chasing after this footman. The Tinker is an intelligence-based hero that has rather high strength, so is rather durable. If we can see a detonation, no detonation there, as we already see the human player has now gone into upside down upkeep. 28 over 24. He is supply blocked at this time, not going to be able to train up any more units, and even if he builds a new scout farm or a new farm somewhere, he is still going to be a little bit behind here. Alright, archers now making their way over here. You can see 5 archers already in position, gonna have an Ancient of War come in to engage, and now going after these ogre warriors. Meanwhile, down over here, the Goblin Tinker is actually playing much more of a harassment tactic. And you can see that the Pocket Factory here is actually going to end up getting destroyed rather quickly. Only one Clockwork Goblin was actually trained off of that Pocket Factory. Not very useful at all, as we see the Archmage quickly gets to level 2. Alright, that Clockwork Goblin doesn't give experience, as we can see that the militia down over here, are they going to run back? No, I don't believe so. They're just going to start building up an arcane tower most likely, and also a town hall. Coming back over here, there is a Moonwell right in this position, as you can see that this Ancient of War is currently just absorbing and regenerating some of those hit points. And oh, a Tome of Experience being left behind. That is absolutely an absolute nightmare. You cannot allow a Tome of Experience to go behind like that, as you can see that the Archmage is currently unable to scout out those archers. Alright, are we going to see that archer taken down? Yes, we will. Are we going to perhaps see the Dust of Appearance purchased? I don't believe so, as the Goblin Tinker is just wandering around here. So far, this Goblin Tinker has not really been doing much, and is really more of a more of a annoying hero than anything else. This Goblin Tinker now just simply running around. He may try to drop a pocket factory down over here in just a second, and here we go. There's that pocket factory being built in such a way so that it is very, very difficult to surround. All right, let's take a look at this. The Clockwork Goblins actually positioned into the wrong location. They're going to be forced to walk around quite a distance as we now see level 3 onto the Archmage. That Archmage is extremely, extremely high level already, as the Goblin Tinker now backs off here. So far, Ancient of War regenerating hit points. You can see the Goblin Tinker is down over here trying to get away. You can see that, oh, one footman does take a little bit too much damage there, as the Goblin Tinker is now re-engaging here to try and take down more of these footmen. The footmen, however, relatively low on hit points, but now the archers are even lower on hit points. Gonna go ahead and shadow meld to make sure that they are not targetable at night. So far, let's see, another pocket factory has come in. This is actually unfortunate for Th000. If Th000 had actually spawned on the southern side, that means that the expansion would be in such a way that the Clockwork Goblins would be coming out from the opposite direction. Right now, the door is down over here, meaning that the door is actually on the wrong and opposite side of where he wants them to be spawned. We are going to see a panda now come in, though, as the Goblin Tinker trying to get away. It looks as though the Arcane Tower will get taken down, and now, oh, beautiful, beautiful Scroll of Town Portal just in time. Are we going to see the footmen perhaps engaged? No, they are not going to be able to chase after those units, as we see a Scroll of Town Portal all the way back. What? How did they get over here? A Tree of Life down over here. So it was already walking back home. You can see that the Tree of Life is going to regenerate some hit points and now try to take down this Ogre Magi 533 creep camp. Very easy to take out, as the Goblin Tinker is now low on hit points and a little bit behind on mana. So far, you can see that there's an Ancient of War making its way over. Are we going to perhaps buy a Scroll of Town Portal? I'm not sure. No, it's going to be a Staff of Teleportation. May try to rejoin up and regroup. No, not going to be doing that, as the Tree of Life is just walking its way over. Meanwhile, the Archmage is sitting at level 3, and it's going to end up getting harassed here any second now. Where is the Goblin Tinker? Goblin Tinker is now down over here. As you can see, the Pocket Factory is still taking a bit of damage. All right, here you go. The Clockwork Goblins are popping out already. When they die, they do deal damage to the surrounding units. That is a little bit of a problem. You can see that those footmen are actually trying to get away from those little Clockwork Goblins, as that explosive damage could have dealt a lot of damage to multiple footmen there, as the Goblin Tinker now forced to run back once again. Meanwhile, Panda off to the north, gonna go ahead and creep out this 533 creep camp. I don't believe he will get to level 2 unless he got some experience earlier from somewhere else. Archmage now still wandering around, as we're going to see the units all head off to the north. Archmage now making its way off to the north here. You can see Defend has been completed by the human player, and that means that those archers are not going to be that effective at all. Meanwhile, the Panda is now sitting at level 2, as the archer, now down to 57 hit points, has to be extremely careful, tries to get away, cannot shadow meld, as Daybreak has arisen already, and now Ancient of Lore needs to be repaired, and yes, it does complete just in time, but this may not be enough. One Ancient of Lore does go down. Dryad now backing off over here. Second Ancient of Lore coming in. All right, the Panda could come off with the Breath of Fire. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. A lot of damage over time here. The Clockwork Goblins, however, not popping out, as we can see Defend now onto those footmen. Archmage sitting at level 4. Panda sitting at level 2. Another Breath of Fire there, as the Goblin Tinker does get surrounded. This is actually horrible news. There is the Pocket Factory right there, and it is constructed just as it is about to go down. It looks as though the Panda is now just on the wrong side of the Pocket Factory, and losing 2 heroes does make it a very quick GG, as I believe Infi took this game. So game 1 going to Infi here on Ancient Isle. I believe it was Ancient Isle, or Last Refuge. Last Refuge. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Very difficult when it's 2 human players and their names are, well, and one of them is playing Night Elf and their names don't match. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game 2.